Welcome to the fourth video in our series, Creating College Access Progress Reports. In our last two videos, we discussed some techniques for calculating a student's college access based on their GPA and their standardized test scores. We also looked at how you can calculate an approximate rating of the quality of each application by comparing the student's college access to the selectivity of colleges they're actually applying to. We then modeled how you can start to sort and filter your seniors by either the number of match applications or the number of total applications they've submitted. And we've argued that this is a good way to guide your Tier 2 interventions by identifying the students best suited to receive them. But so far, our entire discussion of these concepts of access and match has been focused on adult practices. You may find after a short time that you want to put this information back in the hands of your students as a way to empower them during their college search or when deciding where they want to actually enroll. For that, we're going to look at the process of creating one-page reports for students, which we call CAP reports. A sample of these reports accompanies the video in this toolkit. Okay, let's look at some of the details of how you create what we call a CAP report, which is simply a one-page per student summary that counselors can generate at different points throughout the year to give to students and have as a conversation piece so that they know about where they are in the college application process and how each of the applications they've submitted up to that point would be rated as whether or not it's an academic match for the student. And you can see we've argued throughout that while match isn't the end-all be-all of a college search, we want to make some of these things like match and also institutional graduation rates feature in the conversation somewhat, so that at the very least students are informed about these concepts and the relevance of these concepts to their college search and college choice. So I'm scrolling a little bit through the same sample report that accompanies this video, and in our previous videos you've seen through the use of spreadsheet-based data tools how you can begin to generate and calculate some of the variables and counts that you see appearing on this report. For instance, the total number of applications that a student has, and then how many of those applications fall in each of the match ranges that are part of the template here. You saw a little bit about how to massage the data in order to calculate these types of counts. And once you get spreadsheet tools that have these variables in them, you're actually far down the road of being able to generate reports like the sample we have here. One of the final ingredients would be to take that spreadsheet tool and be able to combine it with a template that you design aesthetically for how you'd like that report to appear. And then you can use a tool called a mail merge, which you may be familiar with already, either from some other aspect of your counseling practice or even just knowing what it's like to get a form letter where you can tell the content of the letter has been written for a broad population, a broad audience, but different parts of that letter have been populated with, could just be as simple as your name or any other specific data points that are tied to you, but that are integrated into a more universally written letter. So what I'm flipping to is the equivalent of that report, except rather than showing the specific sample details, it's just that mail merge version that's been tagged and aesthetically designed of where do I want those different types of counts and different variables to appear before you can generate an entire batch of it for a whole class. So one of the final steps would be to create some type of spreadsheet tool that doesn't include only the application match counts that we saw in the last time, but I'm actually going to populate this report. And if you design not only the aesthetics of the student-facing report, but also a little bit of the data tools that accompany with them, the spreadsheet tools either in Excel or in a Google Spreadsheets, you can design a way to rebuild and repopulate that data such that all the variables you want to appear on your report match after loading in that more raw, untransformed version. So I've just popped in what should be the last ingredient into a spreadsheet of mine. And then if you're conscientious about setting up those formulas in advance, it could just be as simple as rerunning the generic reports that you have in your system for tracking applications, and letting the data assemble itself such that you can take it out of that spreadsheet and pair it with the mail merge template in order to build. So you can see I've preset all my formulas using a lot of the same strategies we've looked at in the previous videos of logic formulas and the ones that we mentioned but didn't go through step by step, the VLOOKUPs for how to combine data from different sources together. And I can iterate this quickly just by dumping the raw data in and letting the formulas do the work for me. And that way we can generate these types of updates at a high velocity. Pull it out of an online system, put it through some already programmed transformations, and then run that mail merge and end up with those one-page student samples.